RHO, New Peaches in the Orchard. This is season 13, episode 2. The show begins with Cynthia meeting up with Kenya at Kenya's house to sit on the terrace and I guess sip wine or whatever. And Latoya Forever, which she doesn't have a new peach, but she's a new friend of the show. She pulls up at Cynthia's house, Kenya's house, and Cynthia's kind of side-eyed Kenya like, how you gonna invite her to your house and you just met her yesterday? That's crazy. She's being kind of territorial. And then in the same breath, they talk. And Cynthia turned around and invite Latoya to her house the next day for she's having like some black wine companies to bring in their wine. She's trying to decide wines to go into her wine cellar, and she takes that same energy and invites Latoya to her house. And she says like Bailey, but Latoya, she makes the comment, well, is it a stream? Is it a river? And Kenya makes the comment, you and Portia are going to be fine, insinuating that Latoya is dumb. Now, Latoya Ali, if you're not familiar with her, she's a YouTuber. She has a very big channel on YouTube, Latoya Forever. It's a family blog type situation. And she's also been featured on Candy's channel when she was pregnant. I think that was her last child. Okay, so cool. That's who Latoya Ali is. Just want to get that out the way. And so then it shows Riley and her graduation. And I didn't realize that Mama Joyce lived behind the gates. It was actually really, really nice. I just thought, she was in a regular neighborhood. I knew she didn't live far from Candy, but I didn't realize she lived behind the gate, which was kind of cool, whatever. So they go to Riley's graduation, and Candy mentions that only 2 people can come. So, quite naturally, it would be Mama Joyce because she's who is closest to Riley. My father wasn't really, around, so I don't blame Candy. Let my mama come. Candy, she talks about her graduation situation, how they were on tour and so forth. I guess she was in high school because when Escape came out, I was in my early 20s, maybe 22-ish, 23 maybe. But yeah, so they go to the graduation. And I never realized that Riley's name, what in the world is this on my chin? Riley's name after Mama Joyce. She has Candy's brother that is deceased last name, and she has her middle name is Joyce. I thought that was cute or whatever. So then we flash to Portia, and this is the first time that I've ever seen them go to a house and film, and the housewife is not there, let alone not even in town. They show Portia on FaceTime, because if a housewife is not in the episode, they don't get paid. But the simple fact that she FaceTime and they saw her face, so that makes her eligible to get paid. But I've never known them to be at a housewife house and they're not even in town. I guess they did it that way because they didn't want to take a camera crew to the protest. But they are really, really, really pouring into Portia, I don't know if it's they want to show a different side of Portia, um, or if Bravo is trying to clean up their image, because there have been allegations that there is some racism going on in the NBC network, NBC Bravo network. So I don't know if they're cleaning up their image by showing all of this, or they just genuinely want to show a different side, because they've always showed Portia as this ditzy broad. And I know that it's more to Portia. You know, here we're friends. We're not friends, but in our head, she's a friend of this channel. So cool. They show Portia. And it's unclear if Mama Diane has moved in with Portia. And for that reason, Lauren is like really, really unclear. You know, Portia, she has this big, beautiful house not far from Nene in the Duluth area. So it would make sense. But I'm not, it's like real unclear. So then we cut to Lake Bailey. And there's LaToya there. She comes with Portia. I'm sorry. She comes with Kenya. And then you have, of course, Cynthia's there. Drew Sidora. And Marlo shows up. So there's no Candy and no Portia at this wine tasting event or whatever. And you know, LaToya said what I was thinking. I've been mad at Drew Sidora ever since she broke up Darren and Melanie. You don't know who those are. Those were like the key players on the game. She hired Darren to be in her video, and she ended up seducing him and cheated, and Mel was like in the hallway and heard it. Yeah, she was like the cause of their first breakup or whatever when Mel was in med school. Okay, cool. Get that out of the way. We also showed Drew Sidora at home. And her mother is there. Her mother came to take care of her. She fell. I don't know if she fell, but she hurt herself and she ruptured her Achilles tendon. Now, if you all know anything about me, I am fighting that very same injury. Last year in November, I fell and I ruptured my Achilles tendon, and it still pains me to walk. I opted to not have surgery and do the physical therapy way. Well, it didn't do anything to me, so we'll revisit that. But, you know, she made the comment that her mother is still there. And really, me living that same exact injury right now as we speak, and I'm 13 months in, I don't know if it'll ever get better. So you might need to set some limitations on that. Okay, Mom, it's time for you to go home or whatever. But the mom seems like she's the Mama Joyce type. The kind, you know, that'll get in your butt, but with a Christian twist. Her mother's a pastor, whatever. And her mother is like coming in when they in the process of doing the do. Whatever. Her mom is there. She gonna have to really, really, really set some boundaries since she's up and getting around. She may have to send her mama back to Shy. But yeah, that's pretty much the highlight of the show. Some other things happened. Marlo pulling LaToya to the side and like, hey, be careful what you tell Kenya, because Kenya use it against you. And she was right. She was absolutely right about telling LaToya that. But I'm type of person, don't try to warn me about somebody. Let me find out for myself. Let me figure it out. Cause then I got this judgment. I've already judged you. And you may be that way. They may be that way with you, but they may not necessarily. I may not get that energy. So let me find out things for myself. Um, they show Riley and Todd, and Todd gives her a stack of 20s. I don't know how much money comes in a ring of 20s, but I'm curious to know how much money. I think cash is so impersonable. Show me, let me see where your mind is. But I guess Riley's a child that's had everything. When she turned 16, she got like a $95,000 car. Um, Last summer, she had an apartment in New York, and Candy hired somebody to stay there in the apartment. And I mean, she had not just an apartment, she had a luxury apartment. So maybe it makes sense to give her cash because she's a person that's had everything. But I don't know if I would have liked that for myself. But I think Riley is maybe the only housewife child that we have seen go completely through school. Because I think when Candy came on the show, Riley was maybe kindergarten or first grade. So we have literally watched her grow up. But I must note, Riley has had nose surgery. And it is very noticeable. She's beautiful, but it's very noticeable. And I'm just wondering, was it cosmetic or was it medical or whatever? I don't know, but just a notation. She's had nose surgery, rhinoplasty surgery. And I'm just thinking, I'm late doing this review. I watched the show 3 times. It took me 3 times to completely watch it because I kept falling asleep. Now, I'm not real sure if these new housewives, these new peaches in the orchard are going to be enough to make the show come afloat, because the show is sinking. I think the first episode, it had 1.42 million views, and for the second episode, 1.19 views. I mean, this is a show that in the past had like 3 and 4 million views in the opening episode. It usually goes up after a few episodes and it starts getting into the drama. However, that's it. This is the lowest compared to any other season, with exception to the first show, when didn't many people know about the show. And I'm just wondering, are these peaches enough to save the show? Like I said, I went to sleep. I fell asleep. So it took me 3 watches to watch it completely from beginning to end, because I'm underwhelmed with the show. Nene Leakes, one of the original OGs, she's no longer on the show. She said she was racially profiled, I must say. Yes, battery died. Fantastic is thinking that I don't know if the new peaches are enough to carry the show, because it seems like Drew Sidora, you know, she mentioned her husband. He'll just disappear. He disappeared last week for 3 days, and he said he was in Tampa. And Tampa's pretty boring. I mean, where the hell did he go? Did he go to Busch Gardens? Where did he go? So I'm hoping that's not her storyline, and she's not gonna drag that on, that he's been gone. He disappears. But make a note that he's an IT guy, and that he's putting cameras and stuff in their house. That's kind of scary. He out doing what he want to do, but he got her under total surveillance, and I don't think it's necessary. It means it's for her security. It's, let me watch you, so you can't, you know, I'm gonna keep a step ahead of you. So I don't know. We're gonna have to see about this show. We're gonna have to see. Also make a notation that we have not seen the fabulous Tanya Sams yet. Yes, I'm ready for Miss Fabulous Tanya Sams. We haven't seen Shamil. And another thing, I hope that Cynthia and Mike Hill storyline is not this wedding, because if you keep up the social media, the wedding took place on 10/10/20, and RHOA made the decision to not bring their cameras. They're gonna use like cell phone footage, kind of like in the way that they the way they're doing for Portia's protest. They're not actually going, but they're showing camera footage. So I'm curious to see, because they done made, that's all they've been talking about, this wedding. I want a big wedding. I don't want a big wedding. It's more about the wedding than it is the marriage. And Cynthia's already had 2 weddings on the show. Please don't talk me every episode about your darn wedding. So Fantastic's gonna be watching, and she gonna keep you all informed, and we're gonna see, are the new peaches in the orchard enough to give this show what it needs. Till next time, bye.